Hello everyone, my name is Brandy Martinez and here is my breakdown of Module 5, Organizational Relationships in my school district. So I decided to convey just a little bit of the organizational structure of my district, and when I was putting this together, I was thinking of the things that I actually experienced or the people that I got to talk to. So it's not a complete breakdown, but I feel like it does a pretty good job of explaining kind of the immediate people that I see day to day. So up at the top here, I have the Board of Education. Those are the people that are making decisions and they're voting, and they're also voted in. But they're kind of voting on what's best for the district and all stakeholders. These are people who are volunteering their time and they are voted in by the city of Dodge City. So Board of Education, they kind of are, they steer everything for us. Right under that, I have the superintendent and then the superintendent of curriculum and instruction and the director of technology. I kind of put all three of those kind of on the same playing field because they have different purposes. So the superintendent kind of oversees everyone, but the superintendent of curriculum and instruction really hones in on curriculum and instruction. And the director of technology obviously works on technology. So I feel like the superintendent oversees these two different departments, but they're all kind of on the same playing field when I kind of think about it. I'll start first with the superintendent of curriculum and instruction. They're in charge of curriculum and instruction, and kind of the people that they really need to focus on are the instructional coaches, because they are the people that get everyone else the curriculum and instruction. So that's why I put instructional coaches under them. And then I'm going to go over to the director of technology. So they oversee the technology staff, making sure that our district is going in the right way with technology and is advancing the technology in our school. So that technology staff, super important. As a computer teacher, computer applications teacher, that part of this whole entire organizational relationship is so important to me because I talk to them often. Right here under the superintendent, I have the superintendent of elementary schools and then the superintendent of secondary schools. So we have those two different types of superintendents, and they oversee those respective principals, elementary and secondary principals, and then elementary principals and secondary principals oversee the school staff. So we all kind of have our niche, and the way that I moved this around, or the way that I organized it, I feel like was with our pay grade. So the superintendent in that way maybe should be a little bit higher than the superintendent of curriculum and instruction and director of technology, but I feel like everyone else is kind of where they need to be with pay grade. And then here in the middle, I added the professional learning communities because that's kind of made up of the school staff. And then I added our building leadership team because school staff and elementary principals are part of that building leadership team. Their purpose is to compile info from the building, and so that we can make any changes, improve building policies, or just really take anything else further to the district leadership team. And our district leadership team is in charge of voting and deciding on things that need to be changed at the district level so that everyone in the district has a say. So like I said earlier, this is kind of my thought process whenever I was thinking of how our district is organized. So I believe that our district has a functional organizational structure. I think this because in the article that I read, it talked about how functional organizations are segmented by key functions or operations, and I feel like this rings true for my district. There are different departments in the district, and all of these departments have certain goals in the way they operate. Most of these departments have employees of similar educational backgrounds working on a common goal. There's a clear hierarchy in my district, and this is seen in the way changes made. If we want something to get done, we have to go to certain channels. We can't just do something and change it in the school, even if the principals want to do it. It has to be taken to BLT, DLT, so that it can get done. There's also a pay scale and different pay grades in my district, and the department that you're in determines your pay scale and your pay grade. So for all of those reasons, I definitely feel that we have a functional organizational structure. Something else I wanted to add is that in the article that I read, it talks about how sometimes in these types of structures, it's hard to make change, and I feel like that's true. Or not necessarily hard, but it just takes a little bit longer time just because you have to go through certain channels. So if we want to implement something in our school, it can't necessarily be done. It has to go higher up and higher up and higher up. So an example of that is we're trying to get a new, how would I call it, software in our computer so that we can see what our kids are doing. It's called Go Guardian, and we have to go through all of these different channels to just try to pilot that system, which I think is so crazy, but we're trying to get it there, and I feel like it's something that we're trying to do. Hopefully we're going to get to do it, but definitely shows how we have a functional organizational structure. Thank you for your time. Oh, these are my resources. Thank you for your time.